Welcome to another episode of Daily Musings from Sacred Ground. When I was a kid and a teenager, we'd go to the ocean about once a year. I think starting when I was about 12 years old or so. And watching those waves come in, knowing that they had been coming in for so long, getting up and watching that sunrise where the sun just seems to kind of rise up out of the water. I love being at the ocean because when I'm there, I'm constantly reminded that I live on a planet, on a ball in space. And I'm, I guess, invited into vastness with that. Something kind of similar happens on a clear night when I look up at the sky. We're here in Columbus, Ohio, and, fairly large city, so with light pollution, sometimes you can't see too many stars. But if it's a clear night, you can see some, and we go camping or sometimes get out of the city, and then it's just magnificent to look at the starry night sky. Several years ago, I came upon a book. I want to share it with you today. It's by H.A. Rey. You might know him as the author of Curious George, right? He wrote the Curious George books. But he wrote this other book. I'm going to hold it up here. It's called The Stars, A New Way to See Them. And you can see he has a picture of the constellation called the Twins here. These two stars, and then there's the bodies of them. And you can see he just kind of connects the dots, right? Sometimes we'll see these complex pictures or paintings that are supposed to be related to the constellations. And he does this simple, connect the dot kind of thing that at least I've been able to really find constellations that I'd never seen before. And a few years ago, it got to a point where in the night sky where I could just look up and see all these different constellations, and just beautiful. And in terms of the vastness, I just kind of opened this book at random here, and this is the constellation called the Swan. And he talks about the brightest star in the Swan, that it's almost 500 light years away. I'm sitting here in 2021. And so if I look up and I see the constellation, the Swan, and the brightest star in that constellation, I'm looking at the light from about 1521. Like being at the ocean, there's this invitation. So many invitations. Many of them in the natural world. Into vastness. Into the magnificence that we're a part of. It can also be, at least for me, maybe for you, maybe not, but at least for me, it can also be a great jolt into perspective. My big problems that I get so worked up about, that I get so tensed out about, you think about the waves of that ocean coming in, thousands upon thousands, millions of years. You think about looking up in the night sky and seeing a little pinprick of light that has made a journey of 500 years to get to this moment. Sometimes we ask ourselves, what are our values? I guess as I share this with you, one of the things I'm recognizing is, one of the things that I deeply value is vastness. And the vastness that is a part of us, the vastness in which we dwell. I'm Michael Malley, and you've been listening to Daily Musings from Sacred Ground.